You've ever done that before? You must have done that before, where something doesn't fit exactly right and you're just like, I'm gonna drill the hole bigger. Yep, you've done it, don't lie. What up, it's your favorite crazy Canadian back for another video. We have our lawn tractor here. We didn't get our second spindle yet, but we did get a steering rack. As you guys remember, we got two number 2. They are gonna send another one out for us. And a lot of you guys said just switch this one over, but if you flip it over the other way, then it's going to be facing the wrong way. It's gonna be pointing up instead of down, like on this side. And we got a couple goodies since the last time you've seen us. We had a micro squirt for our EFI system. I got some throttle bodies. These are just like generic ones. I think they're like 42 mils or something like that. But they do hold fuel injectors, so that's gonna be convenient for when we do that. And then an Amazon little steering rack kit, so we can hopefully get some steering in this thing. The only thing I don't like is that it doesn't come with any sort of like mounting or bushing thing to mount this to. I assume that whatever this was built for had the mounting stuff on it and you just kind of, I don't know, clamp it on there and it works, but I have to rig something up for that. But first, let's talk about the sponsor for this video. And it's brought to you by our own company, Black Sheep Industries Inc. Make sure to go check us out, the link's down in the description. And we got all the good stuff, wastegates, blow-off valves, turbos, piping, all that good stuff. And we're just like you guys. We're trying to go fast on a budget. We make this stuff affordable. The prices are super, super reasonable for where you get. The quality's awesome, it looks awesome, it works awesome. And we're just trying to fill that void of awesome. So if you're in the middle of your turbo build and you need like a turbo or a wastegate or a blow-off valve, or your buddy needs one, make sure to check out blacksheepindustries.ca. The link is down below. And your help supporting your favorite Canadian. Yeah, boy, we're building an empire. All right, get the hood off, see if we can mount this steering rack somewhere in here. We do have to take the hood off. We have to weld the bottom completely, but we also have to put the turbo and stuff up there. Wheel that way. Buddy, we went to Canadian Tire and picked up some stuff. Mainly some U-bolts to hopefully bolt this thing on with. These are actually exhaust clamps because they have the other half and it'll just work better. The U-bolt piece should go around like this, and then this piece should go on like this. And then we should be able to just like build a piece that welds onto the frame. And then the rack should just bolt in. And then we also found this, some more U-joints. So we got the 2 U-joints here, the 2 that come in the kit, and we should be able to go down, maybe under the engine, and then up into the rack. All right, this is my idea right here. This is going to go across the frame rail. These are gonna get welded like this. And then the rack is just gonna fit inside there, and then it'll be connected to both frame rails. Awesome. So, you know, we just gotta booger weld these things up and then booger weld it to this. Good to go. Alrighty, it's welded in. It's a little bit hot, so I'm not gonna put it in yet. One thing I do have to change is the, I think the rods are too long, so we'll go eye to eye on our wheels here for now, rough length. I can just measure bolt to bolt right here, I think, maybe. Okay, roughly 27.5. This is all the way compressed. And our eye to eye length on these are 30. So realistically, we have to take 2 inches out of each side. Maybe 1 3/4 inches of each one of these rods. And I'm gonna have to re-weld a new nut on the inside. You know what? They might be threaded the whole way. I'm gonna cut one and see if it is. So we'll cut this 1 3/4 inches. Well, that was a bit, sorry. I didn't realize it was solid in the middle. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to cut another 1 3/4 inches off this and then just weld the piece that I just cut off onto this piece and then just make my own piece. Yeah, I didn't realize that it was solid in the middle. I should have looked down with a flashlight. It's not high enough? Oh boy. Didn't plan this out very good, Kyle. Well, my stupid ass mounted it too low, because when I do put it in here, this piece hits the side. I totally messed that one up. It should have been tilted up more, but I tried to put it this way to get the thing to point this way better. Overall, not a good deal. Well, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of this whole pipe. I'm just gonna make a new one. I do have a spare one of these because I only bought one extra one, and I'm just gonna remake it real quick. Okay, it was a little annoying to rebuild, but at least the wheels are connected. I do need the other spindle to make them the right way, so I won't adjust the tie rods right now, but at least moving it around, the tires will move together. So now to try and run U-joints underneath, and then up, and then to where the steering wheel is gonna go. Now, the easiest way to build this probably is gonna be if I can maybe manhandle it on its side. Oh yeah, that's not bad. Coolio. All right, here's my initial plan. We have just this 1-inch shaft. I had to grind down a little bit to get the bearings to fit over it, but bearing here, this was in here somewhere. And that's our shaft gonna go under the engine, the U-joint on the end of this shaft right here, up to a U-joint up at the top of the steering knuckle, and then a U-joint right here, and another U-joint somewhere in the middle there to give it the final steering angle upwards. That's my plan. I'm probably gonna tack weld these plates on and go from there. Ugh, my knees. That's definitely gonna obstruct our ground clearance, but what I can do is just temporarily use this, and maybe pillow ball mounts are a bit shallower than this. Maybe we'll use that next time. Oh my, I just looked at this. This sprocket ain't very good at all. Well, I'm not really a huge fan of it. I feel like it can be up a little bit higher. I just didn't want to obstruct this little bolt right here on the top, but even if we jam that up as high as we want, I can just tack weld that bolt and it'll just be a permanent bolt in there. Same with the top one on this side. So I might cut them off, slide it up a little bit more, might give us like another 1/2 inch clearance. Friggin' old mint fix there, bud. Go get a Timmy's now. Not bad. Not bad for a little redneck Canadian. So here's my redneck way of doing stuff here. I think we're gonna weld that U-joint right to the shaft. Weld this bar into this one, and then 2 U-joints. Nothing really fits. Like this is like a loosey-goosey in here, so we're gonna have to find a way to center that. And then this has no way of centering to that. So it's just kind of guessing, really. Well, buddy, this piece, I mean, it's gonna work, but it's not gonna work at the same time. This piece almost fits inside this thing, and then this thing almost fits inside this thing. So I feel like if we put this into the lathe and just like smooth down this side and smooth down this side, that'll fit into this, and then this will fit into this, and then we'll get like a double whammy going, and it'll just be like a good thing to weld. Now, to be fair, I don't really know anything about lathes. I'm just kind of learning as I go. I know that this thing spins, and this thing, when you jam it against the other thing, it makes marks on the thing. So we're gonna try and do 2 things at one thing, and hopefully make a thing. Okay, this is what we've got so far. This shaft here goes up to 2 U-joints and then into our steering box. Obviously I can't test it because the wheel's flat on the ground, but what we'll do is we'll tip this back up the other way and just get under there and do one of these things. Just motorcycle Harley motion and see if it turns the wheels. I'm just gonna get up in there and put the front in the air because we don't really have any leverage on this bar. But turn it left. Nice. Turn it right. Hey! We made it do a thing. The only thing is this steering rack seems like a little friggin' loosey-goosey. Ooh, slam dunk, baby! So basically, you've got to come off the back of the engine there, and it's gonna be a 90-degree turn. Well, basically 80 if the steering wheel comes out at like a 10-degree angle here. How do I get 80 degrees of angle with 2 U-joints? How to confuse a Canadian? Math. So yeah, it looks like this U-joint, max 35 degrees angle on it before it hits. And then this one's probably about the same because, this one might be a little bit more. This is the China one. So I just threw 2 little tack welds on this thing, easy to break off, just to see kind of what our max angle is going to be. So I can shove this piece inside of this piece. And then I can just shove this end in our pipe just to kind of get the angle. So I'll show you here. I can totally just play around with this thing. It doesn't look like we'll be able to get all the way where we want to get. Obviously there's gonna have to be like some sort of bearing or something in the middle, but if we point it straight up where the steering wheel would want to be, it kinks right about there. Put it a little bit lower. It'd be close to go up through that hole, but might be straight up and down too. Okay, I can't really get the bends I want to with the 2 U-joints that we had, so I ordered 3 more half-inch U-joints, smaller ones. They'll fit a solid half-inch pipe, so we'll make a clean piece up next time. What I'm going to work on now is getting the turbo mount in here. I want it to be in the front, so what we're going to do is I might end up taking off this and repositioning it to open the wastegate a different way. And then we'll take the exhaust side off and then clock it the way we need to. Now, if you're new to turbos, which you shouldn't be if you're already subscribed to my channel, and if you're not, you should be. This is the Wastegate Actuator, and what it does is there's a little flap inside here that allows exhaust gases that are coming from the engine to bypass the turbo. So this is what kind of regulates how much boost is gonna go to your turbo. If it reaches a certain pressure, which I believe this is like 5 or 6 pounds, this wastegate regulator, it'll start opening the rod and letting exhaust gases pass it so it doesn't make any more than 5 pounds of boost. Like I said, we're gonna probably take this off, relocate it just so we can have the front of the turbo facing where we want it to be. Next up, this is your oil feed in the top, and then your bottom is the oil return, and it's gravity drained. So if you don't have the oil drain facing straight down and straight into whatever it needs to drain to, you can back up the oil, blow the seals in these things. Well, not blow the seals, but you can blow oil through them. So we'll pull this off, and try and get it mounted somewhere. This doesn't normally come V-banded. I welded a V-band on there, but you can see there's the little exhaust flapper in there. That'll let it bypass some exhaust gases. And now I know I want this facing upwards, which means our turbo oil feed needs to be up this way as well. It looks like a lot of these backed off, to be honest. We might have lost a couple of them. And this way. There you go. Anything to try and get the position. We've got zip ties on our engine crane here just to hold it up, but that's kind of where I want to put it. I also have a little intercooler thing, core. I might have to cut it down a little bit, but the intercooler core can fit right underneath there too. If I just cut, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 rows off the end there, build a little custom tank, and then go underneath with the other part of it, backdoor it underneath the engine here, come up through here somewhere, up and over, and then back in the intake. I just ended up building some temporary brackets just to hold it up in place so we can build our exhaust side here. We'll need to make a flange for this and then go from both of these, which is really annoying on a single cylinder that there's 2 outlet ports, but we'll go from both of those into this hopefully without too much issue. And I got enough room down here that I should be able to put a V-band on and go out both sides for both horns. What I'm gonna do now, hopefully, is make the hole in the front of this thing, like drill a hole so we can see the turbo sticking out the front. Well, the front is on, and the turbo is in there. We just gotta drill our cool little hole in the front, and you should be able to see the wheel spinning from the front. Just gotta find the exact spot now. That's the difficult part. Oh, look at our little tiny peephole. That was our guide hole just to see if we nailed it, and you can't really see through that hole, but I can look through there and I can see the exact center of the turbo. So I think I nailed it, which is rare for me. Because usually when I drill holes, it's all like, okay, this is the exact spot I need it. And then I try to mount it up and I'm like, oh, so I gotta drill that hole out 6 times bigger than it was because it doesn't quite fit. But if I drill it out, then it's just sloppy. You've ever done that before? You must have done that before, where something doesn't fit exactly right and you're just like, I'm gonna drill the hole bigger. Yep, you've done it, don't lie. And here's our idea coming to life. It'd be kind of cool to put a coupler on this and then have a little tiny velocity stack that sticks out of the hood as well. But yeah, that's what I wanted, our forward-facing turbo there. Intercooler might sit right underneath it. That'd be kind of cool if the intercooler was like right here in the front, and then save these bars for push rod or pushing stuff. So build a bumper off of the bottom 2 bars here, and that'll be what you use for pushing stuff. Turbo fits in there quite neatly. I think the next step is going to be to build the runners off the engine here. One thing we do have to consider also is we have to make something to support the top of this engine as well, whether it be a bar that comes from like down there up and over to the top and then mount that to that. One other thing I haven't really thought about that I probably should have thought about, my pre-planning is horrible to be honest. A radiator, we kind of need a radiator somewhere, whether it's got to go probably flat on the bottom with a big fan on it, or in the back somewhere with a fan on it. The only thing is, I hate to say it, but this thing probably doesn't put out a lot of like amps or volts or whatever for charging batteries, because it has no alternator, it has like a stator. Once again, I didn't make an outro. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, peace easy, and get heavy.